Fanstoys has been very active lately, and over this past week, they actually gave us a lot of information about their Acoustic Wave. Now, a lot of things are strange about it, but a lot of things are pretty much what we expected. First of all, they changed the name to Robot Paradise RP-01 Acoustic Wave instead of Fanstoys Acoustic Wave. This is not the first time they've done something like that. We're going to talk about that. They revealed the price, the release date or expected release date of this item, and they've also discussed how the cassettes are going to be sold, and they're not all in one. There's going to be a separate purchase. So we're going to talk about this, we're going to discuss this, and talk a little bit of history coming up. So back around 2012, we started seeing pictures and reveals of Fanstoys and their version of Soundwave. So the Acoustic Wave, or the FT02, was supposed to come out. They were working on it. They didn't really have it ready to go just yet. But then Takara put theirs out. A lot of people wonder, why did Takara stop them dead in their tracks? Why did they just basically quit and give up when Takara put theirs out? Now, there's a lot of theories floating around on exactly why. Now, first of all, when you look at these side by side, I just want to say Fanstoys knew they were beat. Like, they wanted to go back to the drawing board, do a better job, that the Takara one was better than their initial design. And I kind of feel like they have some sort of a working relationship with Fanstoys. And then, of course, a lot of people say that they have permissions to make certain characters and are not allowed to make others. And Soundwave is on the do not make list. So could that be why they're changing their names? So there's a lot of questions surrounding it. But let's fast forward to 2019. Fast forwarding to 2019, they do a reveal, and the reveal of their Acoustic Wave and a redesign. So this was an abandoned project that no one ever thought they were going to make, and then they brought it back to life. Now, 2019 was a big year for Fanstoys reveals. They revealed like 26 items or something like that they had in the pipeline, and then they were kind of died down for a while. And now they've been getting caught up as time's gone by, and now it's time for them to finish checking off that checklist before they start pumping out a whole lot more reveals, even though they have done a reveal since then. So this is actually a pretty good time for them to put out this figure. But still strange why the name change. And why is it Robot Paradise? Why did they not use Perfect Fusion? So far they've only put out one figure with the Perfect Fusion line with the PF01, and this was Cesium. So they did this at a time that it sort of felt like they didn't want to cannibalize themselves, and they didn't want to make a 2.0 for whatever reason. Now they've gotten over the whole issue with the 2.0, but still, again, no one really knows why they rebranded. And it was supposed to be a subline that a lot of people were saying was going to be a little bit lesser quality, a little bit less die-cast was in it, a little bit less paint, and it wasn't going to be quite as premium as the regular Fanstoys, so that's why they had a subline, a subcategory. But what I understand is that Cesium looks pretty good, and he actually has a little bit better engineering. He's a little more advanced because it was a couple years after old Scoria. So, Perfect Fusion, was it over for Perfect Fusion, or was there anything else they were going to do? Well, the Fanstoys Quietus was actually supposed to be PF02 on Perfect Fusion. And so, with that, I really think that they decided they were going to go a different route and make Quietus premium. And that's kind of what I'm thinking is the reason that they did it. But also, it gets back to the permissions thing. Do they have permission to make this character? Well, obviously, I guess they do. There was a lot of confusion. There was brand confusion with this whole Perfect Fusion line, and they abandoned it. I'm glad they abandoned it, but now they're kind of bringing it back. So some people are wondering, is this going to be a similar type of situation as when Fanstoys put out their Phoenix Clear, and they said another company's making it, another company is going to manufacture this, they're not going to do the service after the sale for this particular figure, and it's not them at all. So that's what they said up front. Now, after it was over, people had broken parts or issues. Fanstoys still allegedly serviced this after the sale. I've heard reports that they were still servicing this, so technically, was it still them? I can definitely see rebranding, as they're doing with the Soundwave, to not tarnish their reputation. So getting into some pictures here, and from the pictures that they've revealed, I kind of feel like it doesn't have the finish, the level of finish that Fanstoys products usually do. It doesn't seem like it's as shiny, as fully painted all over, but then again, it could just be the pictures. It just could be the pictures. So when I saw it, and I first saw it before I really thought about it too long, I started to think, is this a KO of theirs before theirs even came out? See, their product has never really been KO'd because they hold their information, their designs, close to them. So that is an issue. If they did get KO'd, this is not a KO. But design-wise, I do think it looks really good. And the thing about it, it looks like they're utilizing some more modern type of engineering and modern stylization as they're going. And they're kind of following suit with a more of a hyper-tune style. Yeah, and we get a little bit less bling on it. So talking real quick about price and availability. It's going to be out in October, theoretically. And Soundwave himself, the Acoustic Wave, the RP-01, is going to be $250. Now, that's what all the retailers that have put up their pre-orders with the price are around that area, and they're selling out fast. They sold out really fast for the Acoustic Wave, so if a retailer hasn't put it up yet, you could probably snatch one there. But what's going on with a lot of retailers that, like, say, Show Z, they've just converted over the Fanstoys pre-order to a Robot Paradise pre-order, because I checked mine, and that's what happened. So, looking at this, they also have cassettes up for pre-order, separately, 3 separate cassettes, and those 3 cassettes are going to cost you $120. I think that the cassettes really look good, but they're going to be kind of small. They're not going to be anything like MMC size, but I like the fact that it has the utilization of the transformation in going into the chest and all of that, like we would expect. Here's the cassette modes, and they look fine. And a lot of people were concerned about their cassettes because I think the initial renders made them look like they had a ton of gaps everywhere. There are still a few gaps here and there, but overall, I think they did a pretty good job. I think the biggest gap that people have a problem with is Ravage on his back, but it just tells me it's going to be a little bit easier of a transformation, that it's not going to be ridiculously crazy. But then again, there could be a nice surprise when we get them, like, wow. But I think it looks good. I'm on board with it, and I've got my pre-orders in. And this might actually be the best Laserbeak made. The birds might be where they shine, because the MMC ones are fine, but they're gigantic. And this character doesn't need to be that big, and I don't really think it makes sense for that character to be quite as big as MMC made theirs. So there he goes, and so this might be the shining star out of the whole set. And here we go, getting a look at the alt mode, and the alt mode does look pretty clean. I didn't see any pictures of the backside to see if there's gappiness in the backside, but knowing Fanstoys is probably pretty solid in the back also. And so this is everything you'd get with the RP-01, and you're going to get 2 extra heads for Frenzy, and you're going to get extra head for the Soundwave there, and then a couple of other little panels and swappability. So there is going to be some swappability and change out. You can do a few different things. You get some other display options, but not a ridiculous amount of accessories. Here's the picture that's going to show sort of the swappability and how you can change things up. And if you look down there at the lower legs, they can have a bit of a different look. And if you look at the chest, you can have a little bit different look at the chest and the clear window there. So it's nice to have options. And of course, you can have a different head, more of a toy-looking head, which it's kind of cool actually. It's a interesting look, and you could get 2 of these for $500 and have 2 different looking Soundwaves on your shelf. So for whatever the real reason is, they decided to do a name change with this. It's not that big of a deal. The Perfect Fusion wasn't that big of a deal. It did create some brand confusion there, and a lot of people were confused on why they even had to bother with that. I see that they've gotten over their problem with making a 2.0 because they've done a couple now. And the only problem is really going to be, how you get your hands on this if you want it. If you want to upgrade from your Takara, or if you don't have the Takara one and you want to get this one, so how do you get it? It's going to be kind of challenging, but I do believe all the retailers that are sold out of pre-orders will have some stock in once it arrives. Now it's going to be a higher price, so I'm guessing $300 for just the RP-01, just the Acoustic Wave. And then right now at Show Z, you can pre-order the cassettes. As I'm recording this, The pre-orders are up, but it's $50 down, and then of course you pay the rest of it, so the other $70, I guess, because the price isn't listed when it comes into stock. So I don't know what you guys think about this whole situation and the name change and them coming out with all the pictures and the price and the availability and who's in on this, who's already got it pre-ordered, who's just going to stick with the Takara, or who's going to seek out a Takara in light of all the information. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and tighten your finger out.